Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 17th of February and welcome to the newspaper analysis. My name is Sahil. In the today's video, we will be taking up the entire analysis of the Hindu newspaper. Also, we will be taking up the good articles and relevant articles from the Indian Express and explained section. Now, first of all, let's see the overview of the newspaper to understand that which articles will be important for the today's in the today's paper. So first of all, we can see that here is Indian Express explained section, and the first article is talking about the Ukraine why Germany matters. So guys, first of all, yesterday I had taken a very detailed article with respect to the Ukraine Russia crisis that is going on. So first of all, if you don't know anything about this particular matter, you can see that article. It will be helping you a lot. So today we'll see this particular article. After that, 90 years ago, the sacrifice of Tarapur, rise and fall of ABG shipyard. Now, these articles are not very much relevant with respect to our UPSC. Much of academic substance is not there. After that, reaching to the Hindu newspaper. So, in the Hindu newspaper, we have the text and the context section. Okay. So, in the text and the context section, the first article is talking about the yet another Fodder case conviction. So, this particular article, it is about the Lalu Yadav's conviction into the Fodder scam. Okay, guys, with respect to the examination, nothing is very much important. Okay, so the details with respect to the scam etc has been provided about. Now the European Union has come out with the one size charger policy. So how it will impact the Apple, such thing has been given. Please don't go into this article, not important for your examination. Fine. Then this is a very good article, negative liberty. Now see this article, negative liberty, it contains the explanation of this concept of liberty, which is a very important. And if you have the option of political science, sociology and philosophy, this article is even more relevant for you. Okay. However, in general studies also a very good article. We'll see this. Then we'll be going to the Hindu newspaper, page number 1. Now here we can see that the NATO US skeptical of Russian troop pull out. So yesterday we have seen this thing that the Russia is pulling out from the Ukraine, but the US is skeptical that whether really they are pulling out or not. Okay, so I have already provided, you can see the yesterday's newspaper. Very good understanding you'll get from this thing. However, I will cover this thing also in the Indian Express explained section article that I will take. After that, tribunal appointments being taken lightly, Supreme Court will see this particular development that is coming. Then guys, states can ease COVID-19 curbs, not important for our exam. Supreme Court to hear 1 year quota case on the merit. So guys, basically this 1 year quota case, it is with respect to the Tamil Nadu, where the Tamil Nadu provides the additional reservation to the 1 year community within the OBC. So whether it is legal or not, Supreme Court will hear this particular matter. So as and when the Supreme Court will be giving its judgment, we'll be seeing this particular matter. Okay. Then further moving on, in the city section, the regional issues etc has been mentioned, not very much important. Now the crimson rose butterfly has been mentioned. We'll see this, what this article is talking about. After that guys, hijab issue in the Karnataka is going on. Please don't go in everyday details that is there. Then after that, our bull race is not violent as Jallikattu AP villages. So guys, the Jallikattu, it is the bull race, fine, which is there many a times. The basically activist, animal rights activist, they say that here the torture of bull and all such kind of things happen. Is it clear? So such kind of thing is there. Just they have said that no, it is not violent. However, nothing much of a academic content is there. Then we reach to the editorial page. Now in the editorial page, the first article is talking about a case for a more federal judiciary. So we'll see this article. Then after the budget's crypto signal, India awaits reforms. So we'll see this article with respect to the cryptocurrency that had happened. 10 years track. Okay, so guys, we have seen this particular thing that few days back the monetary policy committee came out with its report, and they had maintained the accommodative stand of the monetary policy. RBI had focused more on the growth, but now the inflation is also increasing, so it is needed to be balanced. Okay, we need to balance both the inflation as well as growth. One cannot be the sustainable solution. So such kind of a thing has been provided, however already taken out. Okay, and a kind of a generalistic detail has been there. Then the signs of peace, so it is talking about the Russia Ukraine issue. Okay, Then after that, understanding the Haridwar conclave. So the Haridwar conclave, where basically the targeting of a one religious minority has happened, it has been discussed. Now first of all guys, this particular issue have become very politicized, okay, and secondly, direct references etc has been given into this particular article. If you want for your own pleasure, you can read it, but with respect to the examination of much of a substance is not there. Unveil your minds please. Okay, so this article is just giving a kind of a personal take of the writer, as that the girls should be allowed to choose whatever they want and all such kind of a thing. It is onto the hijab controversy. Then further moving on in this particular direction, after that guys, MEA set up control room to help Indians based in Ukraine. So as the Ukraine crisis is going on, in that context it has been provided. After that, here we can see India lacks solar waste handling policy. We'll see this article, it is a good article. Then the depression remains a neglected global health crisis. We'll see this particular article is talking about. Now the world page, on the world page nothing much important newses are there. NATO looks to bolster its defense, so it is again on the Ukraine. Fine. Xi tells Hong Kong to tackle all the steps to curb COVID-19 surge. Okay, China slams Quad. So every day China slams Quad occurs, they say that they are the military groupings and all such kind of thing is there. Then on the business page, fine, consumption rising but seeing stress. So it is talking as how the economy is faring in the aftermath of the Omicron stress that was there. Okay, then we'll be going to the sports page. So this is guys the overview of the important articles today, and now let's see all of these articles one by one in the detail. Okay, first of all, as we start, we'll be starting up with the GS quote for today. So today we'll be taking the quote from Aristotle. Aristotle says, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Now, this is a very very impactful and relevant thing in the present times. Now guys, what happens many a times when a person is putting forward his viewpoints, and if those viewpoints are not in synchronization with our viewpoints, we tend to oppose it very ferociously. Why? Because we think that if another person is putting forward a viewpoint, we have to accept it. Okay, so there comes a kind of a confrontation, and there comes a kind of a there comes the confrontation. Now such kind of thing is not the mark of an educated mind. An educated mind can tolerate the different viewpoints without even accepting it, and this becomes very important into the multicultural societies such as India in which we are living. Different viewpoints, different thoughts with respect to the religion, with respect to the political ideologies can exist. It doesn't mean that they are threatening our viewpoint. We can tolerate them without making it our as our own. So very good quote. You can use it in GS paper number 4, GS paper number 4, as well as the GS paper number 2, and even in the essay. Okay, here I can see a comment. Meet says, sir, what one should do to deal with the depression? This preparation is somewhere leading to self-doubt and depression. Okay guys, first of all I would like to talk on one very sensitive thing. Here the word has been used, that is the depression. Now first of all, understand this particular thing, that depression, we use very casually this term depression. Fine, you feel little bit sad, your mood is little bit off, you call it as a depression. No, that is not the depression. Okay, depression is something which you can't even imagine. So that is not the depression, it is just a mood swing that you are facing. Okay, and just nothing is there to cheer you up. You need to be your own motivator. Fine, don't look for external motivation, because if you will be looking for the external motivation, fine, never for the life you will feel inspired. That external motivation will just boost you up for few minutes, few hours, and then again you will feel for the in the same way. Look for the eternal inspiration. Look for that what you can achieve once you clear this examination, the change that you can bring in the society, the change that you can bring for that nation. That inspiration should drive you, that inspiration should fuel you. Clear? As we prepare for something big in the life, often there are some setbacks, often we feel that we are not doing much. That is self-doubt that will be coming. It is just the part of a process. Accept that thing, look on a bigger picture, and that should be the driving force for you. Okay, so please don't feel sad. However, if you are actually feeling the depression, if actually it is a depression, then I will suggest that please seek a medical help for that particular thing if it is a depression, because that is a very serious issue that needed to be resolved as early as possible. But if it is just a mood swing, okay, it will pass. Fine, have faith in your capabilities. Have faith in your capabilities. You will do it. Is it clear? Just be steadfast. Okay. Best of luck. Now, taking up the MCQ answers for the from the yesterday's newspaper. So the first question's answer will be A and the second question's answer will be D. You can pause the video and can check out the solution. You can download it also from the from the PDF, and it is available on our Telegram channel. Now taking up the MCQs. Okay, so the first MCQ, it is with respect to the Swamitwa scheme. Okay, so please consider these statements with respect to the Swamitwa scheme. Fine, choose your correct option. You can pause the video and can write the answer in the comment box. Guys, please keep on answering that. Make it as a habit, because if you will not answer, you will not even be reading the question. Okay, so it is a revision. The second question is with respect to the bond yield. Please read the statement and consider the statement. Okay, now after that, there is one more question that is there. It is with respect to the corporate social responsibility. Okay, please read the statement and then answer the correct option. Now moving on to the first article. So this first article we have taken from the Indian Express newspaper, and it is talking about the on the Ukraine crisis, what is the importance of the Germany, why the Germany matters. Now this issue can be read under the purview of GS paper number 2 international affairs. GS paper number 2 international affairs. Okay, now see, first of all, what has happened, we know this, we have seen this particular thing even in the yesterday's newspaper as well as multiple times in the past, that there is a Ukraine crisis going on. Fine, Russia has shown the signs that the Russia might invade the Ukraine, and because Russia might invade the Ukraine, the USA is offering the Ukraine that they should join the NATO. They should join the NATO. NATO is a military alliance. If the Ukraine becomes the member of the NATO, then in case if the Russia attacks, then the USA will directly be coming for the help of the Ukraine. Now as the USA is offering the Ukraine to join the NATO, Russia is becoming even more irritated. This confrontation, this crisis is going on. Now yesterday there is some development that Russia had said that we are pulling out some of the troops that were stationed around the Ukraine. So it looks a kind of a positive signal that has come. Now, what is the role of Germany in all this particular context? This is something that we are going to understand. Now guys, first of all, just focus on this particular map. Now here we can see that here we have the Russia and here we have the Germany. Between the Russia and the Germany, there are the two gas pipelines that are there. One is the Nord Stream, okay, and other is the Nord Stream 2. Now these two gas pipelines, they are supplying the gas from the Russia to the Germany. Okay, now gas will be used by the Germany for their own consumption, and from here, from Germany to other parts of the Europe also, the gas can be supplied. Now because of this particular Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipeline that has been there, by this particular thing, what has happened, the Germany's energy security has been tied with the Russia. Today guys, Germany is the largest economy of the Europe, and the Germany coming near to the Russia through the energy security tie, it is something which is putting the US and many other countries in a kind of a tension. Now here guys, just see onto this particular map that when we talk about the Germany, a kind of a huge reliance of the Germany is onto the Russian gas. Around 50% of the gas of the Russia is coming, gas of the Germany is coming from the Russia. Clear? So guys, this is some issue that has been going on. So when we see this Nord Stream 2 pipeline, okay, from Russia to Germany, which is supplying a gas, it is being seen as a geopolitical weapon by many of the countries, including the Ukraine. Now Ukraine has a problem. Ukraine say that as this particular pipeline is passing from the water, it has bypassed the Ukraine. Fine. Why? Because if it would not have passed from the water, it would have gone from the Ukraine. And because of that, there is the loss of transit fees that is happening. There is a loss of transit fees that is happening to the Ukraine. So this is one of first of all, economic issue that is there. Secondly, what the Ukraine is providing, that tomorrow the Russia might not entirely be needing the Ukraine. Directly from Germany, it can supply its gas export to the Europe, and this particular thing will undermine the Ukraine. Now because some of the pipelines are passing from Ukraine, it is Russia's interest to maintain the stability in Ukraine, but later If Ukraine will be avoided, Russia will have no interest and Russia will outrightly be carrying the invasion. This is something that has happened. After that, guys, the next problem is that today I told you that Russia and Germany, if they are coming together, then it is putting the entire Europe into the fear. Is it clear? Because both are the big countries, okay, and this is some issue that has been there. Now the USA has the problem from so long. Even the USA has challenged the Nord Stream pipeline, but the Germany, when there was the Angela Merkel, fine, Angela Merkel was very steadfast on this particular matter and she carried this pipeline and it has now been culminated. Now guys, the US officials, they have provided very clearly that if any of the instance will happen where Russia will invade the Ukraine, the first thing that they will do is that they will stop this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So actually US is looking for the opportunity to kill this Nord Stream 2 pipeline, because by this pipeline Germany and Russia are coming together. Now what is the problem of the USA? Guys, see, USA sees that if the Russia and Germany will come together, and this economic partnership will undermine the USA. Now USA has been an important partner for the Europe since the World War II, and the position that the USA had provided since the World War II, USA is the security guarantor. Now that security guarantor can become the Russia and Germany. So USA has a problem from this thing. Second thing is that, guys, many of the commenters, they have said that there is only one interest of the USA, that is the gas. See, it is said that always the US is driven by two things in the world, by the oil and by the gas. Now you understand this particular thing. First of all, see the data. Now the European Union imports right now less than 5% of its gas from the USA. Majority of suppliers are the Russia, fine, around 41%. Then the Norway is there, Algeria is there, Qatar is there. USA is a very small provider. So because of that particular thing, dependence onto the USA is less. So it is being said that as Germany and Russia are coming together, dependence on US will go even more lower. But USA wants to be relevant. So therefore, USA is against this particular partnership of Russia and Germany. So this is the importance on this particular entire next calculus. Fine. So guys, I hope that you have understood all this particular issue. So that is all about it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Negative liberty. Now this is actually a very good article which is explaining the concept of liberty in two of the dimensions. Okay, so this is, guys, actually taken from the Isaiah Berlin, okay, the political philosopher and thinker. He had written one essay, that is, the name of the essay was The Two Concepts of Liberty. Fine. And from this particular essay, the different dimensions of liberty, that is the negative liberty and the positive liberty, is being talked about. So very good article. Okay, it will be important for your GS paper number 2 as well as important for your essay. Clear? Now, first of all, when we talk about the ideas of liberty, Isaiah Berlin has provided that there are two ideas of liberty or the freedom. One is the negative liberty or negative freedom. Negative liberty means that an individual has a private sphere of life where he can decide, or he or she can decide what to do, what not to do. Is it clear? Whatever they want, they can do into this private sphere, where to go, with whom to talk, what to eat, what not to eat. It is the negative liberty. They can decide what to do and what not to do. Then there comes one more idea. That is the idea of the positive liberty. Now, positive liberty means taking control over one's life and realizing the purpose of one's life. Positive liberty is to have the enabling conditions of the life. Fine. Now understand this particular thing by one example. So guys, the example is there. Suppose there is a woman and the name of that woman is Devi. Now the Devi, she is working in Chennai and she wants to visit her family and his family in the Bihar. Now what is the negative liberty? Negative liberty is that Devi wants to go to the Bihar. She could travel to the Bihar from Chennai. Okay, nobody will stop her. She can travel whenever she wants. She can travel by whatever mode she wants to travel. She can travel. This is the negative liberty. But guys, now let's understand the idea of positive liberty. What if the Devi is a very poor woman? She cannot afford the ticket for a train, for a plane, for a bus or any mode. She cannot afford the ticket. Okay, can she now go to the Bihar to visit her family? Fine, no, she cannot go to Bihar. Why? Because her freedom to go to the Bihar has been restricted by the poverty that has come in between. So positive liberty provides that many a times the people are not able to be free because many such kind of issues come in between, because your class comes in between, because your race comes in between, caste comes in between, sex comes in between. Many of these particular factor restricts your liberty many a number of times. Is that clear or not? So basically positive liberty is also very much important. Negative, okay, will not stop you, do whatever. Positive, we will also giving you some enabling conditions of life. So the positive liberty is very very important into the welfareist state. Now guys, it has been provided that actually the positive liberty is important, and the political left who talks about the particular interest of the poor people, they have supported this idea of positive liberty. But actually rightist politicians as well as the libertarians, they have more supported the idea of the negative liberty. Is it clear or not? Now let's understand this particular thing by the help of an example. Now suppose there is the government. Okay, now government, basically there are the rich people in the society. Fine, there are the rich people in the society. Now government says this particular thing, that we will tax the rich people, we will put more tax onto the rich people, and the money that will be collected by taxing the rich people, that money will be used to provide the good quality of life to the poor people. Is it clear or not? Now this type of government is actually focusing onto the positive liberty. How? Because the poor people are being provided the good life, but the rich people might not like this particular thing. Rich people say that you are impacting our liberty. Whatever money we are earning, we can use it as we want. You are putting more taxes onto us, so our liberty has been impacted. Okay, so they will be calling for the negative liberty. So many a times the positive liberty will not be liked. You can read this particular thing, that for instance some government may cut spending on government programs. Okay, why some governments are cutting the spending on the government program? Because they want to promote more of a negative liberty. You are earning your money, spend your money as you want, so they are supporting the negative liberty. However, there are other governments which might increase the provision of the government services for the poor and marginal sex societies at the cost, and they will promote more of a taxation. See, if a government does the latter, that is taxes people and uses that money to provide subsidized foods, it means that it is cutting down on the economic freedom of some classes in order for, so that the other classes can enjoy more of economic freedom. So basically the idea of negative liberty is promoted more, okay, by certain sections of the society. Now it has been provided that guys, basically in a society with the negative freedom, all the time the things will not happen good, because when everybody is having the freedom to do whatever they want, what can happen? There can sometimes the chaos can also come in the society. The market forces can exploit the poor people, that can also happen. So basically there is a balance of both the negative as well as positive liberty that is needed. Fine. Now in the present time, where the government is becoming too much encompassing, where government is dictating actually what is to eat, what with whom to marry, their negative liberty is also important. So both liberties, negative and positive, are important, and a right balance is needed. So this is something that has been provided. Guys, I hope you have understood it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Tribunal appointments being taken lightly, Supreme Court. Now guys, understand this particular thing. This article first of all will be important for our GS paper number 2, issues related to the judiciary. Now first of all, what these tribunals are? See, tribunals are the quasi-judicial institutions. See, when we talk about the mainstream judiciary, the mainstream judiciary has been burdened a lot. Okay, there are the civil petitions that are there, criminal petitions are there. If we talk about today, the number of cases that have piled up into the mainstream judiciary, more than 3.5 crore cases are piled up there. So there can be certain class of cases, for example the environment cases related to the taxation, commercial disputes, a particular class of cases can be provided to another kind of an institution, and these institutions are called as the tribunals. So these tribunals are the quasi judicial bodies. They will perform the role as the judiciary is doing, but only for a specific class of cases. Now as we talk about the tribunals, originally tribunals were not provided into the Constitution of India, the provision for the tribunal was added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. It added two new provisions in the Constitution of India, Article 323A and Article 323B. Now, what Article 323A and B is talking about? 323A talks about the administrative tribunals and 323B talks about the tribunal for any other matter. And under Article 323B, both the Parliament as well as the State Legislative Assembly has the power that for any specific purpose they can create the tribunals. Is it clear? Today we have so many of the tribunals. We have the Tribunal for Environment, we have Tribunal for the Commercial Disputes, many tribunals we have. Now guys, basically the Supreme Court has provided that these tribunal appointments have not been taken up very seriously. What Supreme Court provides? Supreme Court has said this particular thing, that earlier when we said that there are the lot of vacancies into the tribunal, government just in a knee-jerk reaction filled those vacancies, but now again the government is not taking any decision onto the tribunals, and as when the tribunal they have the vacancies or when the good appointments are not being made into the tribunal, the people who are dependent onto the tribunal, they actually are suffering. This is something that has been provided. So government needs to be more proactive when dealing with the tribunal and the tribunal vacancies. They should not be taken lightly as it is being done now. Is it clear or not? So basically many of the tribunals are there. For example, the National Company Law Tribunal are there. Okay, so with respect to the members tenure duration, fine, there are certain issues. Okay, however, no need to go too much into the detail, but again and again this year tribunals have been done in the news. So this particular information with respect to tribunals, please keep in mind, it can be asked in your prelims examination. Fine, so that is about it, and now we'll be moving to the next article. Thousands of crimson rose butterflies fly across the ocean. Now what this particular article is, okay, it is talking about the crimson rose butterflies. Now see here the picture. This butterfly is the crimson rose butterfly. It has these red color or the crimson color patches. Okay, now this particular butterfly guys, it has a particular pattern. What this butterfly does, every year, fine, every year from the Dhanush Kodi, this butterfly migrate to the Sri Lanka. Clear? Now the Dhanush Kodi is the one of the southernmost beach in the South India, and from the Dhanush Kodi they are migrating to the Sri Lanka every year. Okay, this journey that they are taking, this migration that they are taking, now what has happened this particular year, there is a very big swarm, a very big size of the butterfly that has migrated. Is it clear or not? Now understand one particular thing guys. See, basically these butterflies, they come from the different regions of the Western Ghats from the peninsular India. First what they do, they basically make a stop around the beaches. There they basically refuel they refuel them, they take the nectar from the flowers, and then they migrate to the Sri Lanka. Now understand, this particular article is saying that first of all we need to preserve the native beach vegetation, because this native beach vegetation is something which provides the fuel to the journey of the butterfly. If there will be no proper native beach vegetation, they will not be able to get the fuel from the flowers, and in the journey, while they are going on to the journey in the ocean, they might die. Is it clear? So in protecting the butterflies, protecting the beach vegetation is something which is very much important. This particular year they are into the news because thousands and thousands of butterflies are flying across the ocean. A huge swarm size has been noted down. Is it clear or not? So crimson rose butterfly, it is a mix of a black, white and crimson color butterfly. It crosses the sea to migrate to Sri Lanka. Clear? Now this year's migration from Dhanush Kodi, is one of the large migration. Now when we talk about the status of this crimson rose butterfly on the IUCN list, it is least concerned, so it is not threatened. It has a large number of butterflies. Secondly, it is protected under the schedule number 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So this, with respect to the environment and ecology question, it is important. Please keep it in your mind. With respect to the prelims examination, it could be asked. So Please keep it in mind. That is all about it. And now moving to the next article. A case for more federal judiciary. Okay, a case for more federal judiciary. Now this particular article will be important with respect to the issues related to the judiciary GS paper number 2. Issues with respect to the judiciary GS paper number 2. Now understand this particular thing, guys. Basically this article provides this thing that India has a federal structure of judiciary. We have the high courts, we have the Supreme Court. Then though we follow the integrated judiciary, but within this integrated judiciary there is a kind of a two-tier structure of Supreme Court and the High Court that is there. Now when we talk about the federalism, first of all, what is a federalism? Federalism can be explained as a midpoint between two extreme type of political systems. There is a unitarism. In unitarism all the power is centralized, and then there is confederalism. In confederalism the states are the most supreme. In confederalism states are supreme. In unitarism the center is supreme. What is the midpoint between the unitarism and confederalism? There is a federalism. So we have adopted the federalism. Is it clear or not? Now when the federalism has been adopted, okay, in the line of the federalism the high courts have been given a specific power. The high court has been given the specific power. Now this particular idea of the high court having a kind of an important place has been appreciated even by the political thinkers such as the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Now this article is just talking about certain issues that have happened which is undermining the high court into the present times. Fine. Now don't go too much into the detail. Why? Because guys, at the end of the day both the High Court and Supreme Court are the constitutional offices, and the opinion here are the author's personal. So it has been said that the High Court have been undermined. Three reasons has been provided. Reason number one, what has happened? The Supreme Court exclusively has the power that they will only appoint the judges and the Chief Justice of the High Court as well as the Supreme Court. In this capacity, High Court does not have any of the say. Supreme Court has all the power. The Collegium of Supreme Court has all the power. So the High Court is being undermined and Supreme Court's more authority is there. Then comes the second issue. Second issue is this particular thing that what have happened, guys, in the past few years the government had created the parallel judicial system. Now what is this parallel judicial system? Large number of tribunals have been made. And as these tribunals are there, they have been given a specific class of cases that they will be discussing. Now the High Court's power has undermined that particular thing, because when a case is going from the tribunal, then guys, after the tribunal that case will directly go to the Supreme Court. There is no scope for going to the High Court. So the tribunals actually took a large number of areas where they will be dispensing, and then the cases will directly be going to the Supreme Court, not the High Court. Then third thing that has been provided, that the Supreme Court has become liberal in entertaining even the matters of the local concern. Is it clear? Even the local matters which can be dealt by the High Court of that particular region, even they are being taken by the Supreme Court. We can see this particular thing that the Supreme Court even interfere into the matter with respect to the Deepavali celebration, whether the bursting of firecrackers need to be there or not. Supreme Court intervened. This matter would have been dealt by the High Court, and particularly for the Delhi High Court. So this is something. And then the Competition Commission, law tribunals, all these things are interfering with the High Court. This is something that has been provided. So the article provides that the federal balance is needed to be restored, and the High Court, their importance needed to be emphasized. Is it clear? So this is something that was provided. That is all about this particular article. And now we'll move to the next article. After the budget's crypto signal, India awaits reforms. Clear? This article will be important with respect to the GS paper number 3, issues related to the Indian economy. Now understand this thing, that what had happened recently, we have seen this thing earlier also, that the budget was announced. Into this budget, when the budget was announced, a flat tax rate, okay, a flat tax rate of 30% was imposed onto the any gains made from the transfer of virtual assets such as the cryptocurrencies. Okay, so any transfer of cryptocurrency, any gain from a cryptocurrency is there, 30% tax will be imposed on them. Now guys, as this particular thing is happening, it be taken an assumption that the cryptocurrencies are legal in India. Though the finance minister has provided that cryptocurrencies are not legal in India, but it is being seen as a first step towards the legalization, because if legalization was not on the cards, why the government would have imposed the tax of 30% here on this particular thing. Now guys, here it has been provided that the announcement of flat tax rate is effective in ruling out the prospects for a total ban on by the central government that could have happened. Now it has been provided that, guys, see what had happened. Basically you have said that if any gain will be there, it will be taxed, and the gain will be actually be coming in the picture when the conversion of cryptocurrency will happen. Fine, I bought the cryptocurrency, I will convert it back into the rupee, then the gain will be coming. So it has been said that actually such kind of thing will be creating a new kind of a problem. What this new problem will be? Fine, it will hamper the willingness of investor to current the cryptocurrencies into the national fiat, into the national currency. Rather, what they will do, there will be the new doors of technologically savvy and innovation minded investors will come. Now the investors, they will use cryptocurrencies only for the different kind of purposes. There will be the introduction of the DeFi, that is the decentralized finance. Okay, so basically for many of the purposes, for the lending, for the liquidity purpose, for the transfer, directly the cryptocurrencies will be used. Okay, so this decentralized finance will come in the existence. Fine, now it has been provided by the article that, see, though government had come out with the CBDC, that is a centrally banked digital currency which will be banked by the Reserve Bank of India in order to counter the cryptocurrency, but it is not going to be very much effective, because the CBDC, it is nothing just an equivalent of the physical cash that you are having in your wallet. It is a digital cash that will be maintained into the RBI's wallet. Now the cryptocurrencies that are there, they are always in a limited supply, and because of that particular thing, always within the cryptocurrency there is a scope that its value will increase, but the physical the digital currency that RBI is coming, it is just equivalent of a physical cash. There is no appreciation that is involved there, so it might not be very much productive. The article suggests some reforms in this particular direction. Number one, article suggests that actually there needs to be need to introduce more rigorous regulation so that the crypto does not becomes the mainstream currency. Is it clear? In crypto can become the source of illegitimate political funding, black money, people can store the money. So we need to bring even more rigorous reforms. And secondly, we need to learn from the international communities, international best practices. We need to study them and come out with even more long lasting kind of reform in the lines of cryptos. So this is something that has been provided here. Clear? Now overall it was a kind of a article which you just need to see into the generalist sense. Too much of the technical dimension is required for a person preparing for the taxation law or the CA, but not for the UPSC. You need to have a generalistic understanding on this particular thing, because till now large number of things are into the gray area. Government has not come out with a clear policy, just the tax has been imposed. So a lot of things are just a speculation. So that is all about this article. Now we'll move to the next article. India lacks solar waste handling policy. Now it is a very good point that has been made here. This article will be important for GS paper number 3. GS paper number 3 environment. GS paper number 3 environment and e-waste. Clear? Now understand this particular thing, guys. If you know, we have come out with a specific energy targets. Fine, we have provided that India will be producing 50% of its energy, 50% of electricity by 2030 will be coming from the renewable energy sources, and in that capacity solar energy will be very much important. Even, guys, we have provided this particular thing that by 2022 100 gigawatt of energy will be coming from the solar. So today the solar is a very important part of our renewable energy calculus. Now understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the solar energy, there are the solar photovoltaic cells, these solar panels that are to be installed. Now when we talk about these solar panels, they have an estimated life of around 25 years. In India, the solar manufacturing and the solar industry, it took a kind of an uptake around 2010. Now we are in 2022. So right now it is not a very big problem, because these solar panels and the solar industry, it is into the mid of the life cycle. But after 15 or 20 years, what will happen? Large number of solar panels, solar photovoltaic cells, they will be discarded, and it will become a kind of a solar waste that is there. Now for this particular solar waste, we don't have any policy in the action. Moreover, it has been provided that it is not the case that all the solar electricity or solar components will just be becoming defunct only after 25 years. Between the life cycle also, many of the modules, they become defunct, many of the modules are to be discarded. Okay, so for that also we don't have any policy. In this particular capacity, the IRENA, that is the International Renewable Energy Agency, has provided that the global photovoltaic waste will touch around 78 million ton by 2050. 78 million ton photovoltaic cell waste will be there, and India will be one of the top 5 generators of such waste, because we are having a very ambitious solar energy program. Clear? But at the same time, India is not considering this solar waste as a separate, but rather we consider it as the part of the electronic waste only. Clear? Separately we don't treat it. So what is the solution? Fine, we don't have any solution as of now. But guys, the government, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, has provided that actually government is working. Government had constituted a kind of a committee under the chairmanship of Ministry of Renewable and New Energies Secretary. And this committee, it is coming out with an action plan to evolve a circular economy. First of all, what is the circular economy? There could be two types of economy. One is the linear economy. In linear economy, we use basically a good is manufactured, that particular good will be used, and then that particular good will be discarded, it will just be dumped. That is the linear economy. Then there comes the circular economy. Circular economy, what will happen? There will be a good that will be manufactured, this good will be used, then that good will be reused for some other purpose, then that particular thing will be recycled, okay, and then again it will come into the usage cycle. So this is the circular economy. Now circular economy is more sustainable. Now this committee of the Ministry of Renewable and New Energy, it is evolving a plan for the circular economy, that how the solar panels can be reused in some another purpose, they can be recycled, okay, and through this particular circular economy plan on the solar panels, we can able to reduce this solar waste that will be there. Now guys, when we talk about the present solar energy capacity of India today, the photovoltaic cell installation, it is giving us 40 gigawatt of energy. 35.6 gigawatt is ground mounted plants, okay, and 4.4 gigawatts is from the rooftop solar plants. There is one more issue with respect to the solar energy policy of India. See, we say that 100 gigawatt of solar energy will be installed by 2022, but guys, even today we are importing a lot of components, mostly from the China. India is just assembling, many components are being imported. So here we need to achieve the Atmanirbharta, we need to achieve the reliance. So this is all about this particular article, and now we'll move to the next article. Depression remains a neglected global health crisis, says report. This article will be important in GS paper number 2, issues related to the health. Issues related to the health, and within the health, mental health. Within the health, the mental health. Now understand this particular thing, guys, that basically we have seen this pandemic. In this pandemic, the economic crisis came, the health crisis came, and when this economic and health crisis came together, it led to an existential crisis. And this existential crisis had given a lot of depression, anxiety, mental disorders to the people. Now as this mental anxiety disorders have increased, but the attention towards such mental disorders, anxieties have not increased. According to a recent report that has been published, now who had published the report first of all? So the report on the depression has been published by the Lancet, which is one of the most reputed health journal, and the World Psychiatric Association. Now they provide this particular thing, that the world is failing to tackle the persisting and increasing serious global crisis of depression. Is it clear? So the depression that is being faced, people are not considering it, they are not seeking a medical help. Even the society feels it is a taboo, they should not discuss it. This is wrong, provided by the Lancet and World Psychiatric Association. It has been provided that around 5% of the adults worldwide, they are suffering from depression each year. but it happens to be a neglected global health crisis. Fine. Poor understanding of this condition and lack of psychological and financial resources are the problem. There is no proper diagnosis, no proper treatment. Is it clear or not? And many a time the economic prosperity basically economic prosperity of a nation also impacts such kind of a thing. The developing country, poor countries are not able to allocate the funds for such issue also. Clear? Now it has been provided that there is the abundant evidence that much can be done to prevent the depression. Okay, even in the when the resources are limited. Okay, we need to innovate, we need to rethink on the depression and the mental disorders that are there. Clear? So this is something that has been provided into the Lancet and the World Psychiatric Association report. Is it clear? So guys, mental health is a very important thing. Now moving beyond this article, just a personal message: mental health is very important. We many a time faces the bouts where we feel low, where there can be times when we might go in the state of depression. Fine. If that is the case, please seek an expert help. Don't hesitate in such kind of a thing. There is nothing to feel stigmatized with such kind of a thing. Is it clear? However, if you feel low, fine, you can directly reach to me also if you feel that I can help you in this particular direction. Is it clear? Please don't hesitate, reach me directly. You can contact me on the Telegram by searching @Sahil Thinking Palette, @Sahil Thinking Palette. Okay, you can directly reach me to the Telegram. Okay, fine. So please take care of yourselves. So that is all about the today's newspaper analysis. With this, we come to an end to the today's newspaper. Fine. We'll be meeting tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.